live, and I'm still bit. That's a great start. Okay. Oh my god. Fergie. Oh my god. Give me a second, guys. There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
At me.
Yeah. Welcome back to Remember the Flowers. Oh, we're getting closer to the final, well, not final, last update of Remember the Flowers, the most recent one, as we come across chapter 16. Chapter 16. Fateful Encounter. Because we got paid yesterday, I took it upon myself to order some small kitchen appliances for our room. Well, the cafeteria food is good, has good food. I'm getting a little sick of being recognized because of my stupid collar. Now, I can at least enjoy a quiet meal before by myself from time to time or with Benji. I did have to install some shelves for extra storage, but it wasn't that difficult. Thankfully, there's just enough counter space for a mini fridge and a microwave. Since everything is fresh and empty, I figured it's time to do some grocery shopping. Put out my Axiom screen while walking out to text Vivian to see if she wants anything. As soon as I open the door, I'm greeted by someone familiar.
Lance!
Oh,
I was just about to knock.
Great. What do you want? It's my day off.
Now, don't be testy. Are you free at the moment?
No, I'm going shopping.
The shops will be open well into the evening. There's something I want you to see.
Artemis chuckles to himself.
Trust me, it's a sight you won't want to miss.
Right. Can I go now? Artemis stops laughing and gives me a serious look.
This is an order, Spoil Sport. Has to do with the team you'll be working with in the future.
Fuck it. Fine. Let's go. I got shit to do.
Wonderful. To the underground elevators we go.
Fuck me. Artemis takes me down the path of the base I hadn't been to before. Anytime I try to ask where we're going, he shoots me down, telling me not to ruin the surprise. I swear, this has to be the most convoluted way to travel. When we're finally in the elevator, Artemis speaks up.
Should you ever get seriously injured while on the job, rest assured you'll be taken care of here. This is where we take care of our VIP patients, though it's been a while since we've had to resort to extensive treatment.
Artemis keeps snickering to himself. Just before we hit our destination, Artemis takes his Axiom screen out and materializes a pair of baskets. One for each of us.
I can't wait to see the look on his face.
Keep me in suspense, why don't you? How long do I have to stay?
Honestly, I can't imagine living a life as dull as yours.
I'll let you know when I start caring about what you think. Maybe you'll stop wasting your time.
Oh, believe you me, watching you is never a waste of time.
I let out a subdued growl, but don't have the chance to retaliate more as the bell dings and the door opens. Artemis adjusts his collar before stepping into the hall, motioning for me to follow him. With a grunt, I do as I'm told again. Unlike Vivian's section of the underground, this area seems a lot more normal It reminds me of the hospital floors up above, though noticeably more quality. That's saying something, consider how rich the upstairs looks like.
They should be in room F, which is right down this hall.
Artemis raises his axiom up to his sensor in front of the door. After a short beep, the door slides open. The smell of seared flesh hits my nose rather quickly. We're gonna see the rhino again. An annoyed groan from inside follows soon after. Damn! I'm sorry. Were you king or was I? I
believe you were king.
Fuck. The hell you want, Weasel?
Oh, come now, don't be like that, king. I come bearing gifts.
Unless that includes your resignation letter, I'll pass. I have enough of headaches as it is.
Sir, please keep the door closed. But of course, come now, Lance.
We walk into a rather spacious hospital room. 3 of the 8 beds are occupied with 4 nurses working. 2 of them are trying to take care of a giant rhino. They start to apply some kind of liquid to what I assume is all that's left of his arm. He sucks in air through his teeth. Jesus fuck! Be careful with that shit!
My apologies, we're almost done.
Artemis inhales deeply and then exhales happily.
Glad to see you're recovering well.
Artemis, I really don't have the patience to deal with you right now.
Aw, so you normally put up with me? I knew we had a good thing going.
The rhino tries to sit up, but one of the nurses keeps him flat on the bed. A female hound is taking charge of the rhino's treatment. Is she the head nurse?
Please remain still. Artemis, you should know better than to antagonize a fellow leader. Sorry, protocol slipped my mind for a moment.
Artemis heads over to the rhino's bed. He places the basket on his chest.
We got you some necessities for when you're discharged, along with those awful protein bars you're a fan of. They're tricky to open. Need a hand?
I've never seen Artemis fail so hard at holding his laughter in. Maybe that's what he's going for. The rhino looks like he's seeing red. Clenching his fist hard enough that his veins in his one arm bulge.
Mr. Artemis!
The nurse readies a hand and then, to my surprise, smacks the weasel across the face. It sounded pretty hard. Elegant Misery is playing in the background. Much to her dismay, all it did was knock his head to the side a little. I can smell a hit of iron in the air. Artemis takes a thumb to the corner of his mouth and licks the trickle of blood. He's still smiling.
As strong as ever, Serenity. Do accept my most sincere apologies. If you keep on with your nonsense, I'll be forced to write a report. Don't forget, you can be held accountable just like the rest of us. Oh, I'm well aware of that. Thank you.
The nurse turns her attention to me. Maybe it's because I'm on edge here, but I nearly jumped out of my skin.
And you, speak. What business do you have here? He's with me. I'm here to introduce him to his soon-to-be boss.
What? Him? The rhino looks me over. He scoffs and waves me off. I already have a crew.
And look what happened there.
I was taken by surprise.
I can see that's not all that was taken.
I can see the nurse's hackles raise as she steps forward to the weasel. He raises a hand in defense.
Sorry, won't happen again, promise.
She huffs before getting back to work.
So,
Artemis's voice shifts to a more serious tone.
tell me what happened.
Tch, we found the runaway by sheer dumb luck while roaming the streets. One thing led to another, and this is how we ended up. King uses his thumb to point behind him, towards his team. Despite their battered appearance, they're both sleeping soundly in their beds. Artemis clicks his tongue.
I never expected you to lose a fight like that. Does Dario know?
Does he know? He already ripped me a new one earlier today.
That sounds like him. He's always trying to show off his authority.
Hey, Ben. I can't help but roll my eyes. Yeah, well, it wasn't unwarranted. Nearly got myself and my crew killed. Probably going to need a new prosthetic to replace the arm I lost.
Speaking of, how in the world did that happen?
Artemis walks around the rhino's left side to get a better look. He picks up a nearby clipboard, skimming through the report.
I've never heard of a weapon that could cause damage quite like this. Have you?
Beats me. I wasn't paying attention. Before I knew it, there was a blinding blue light. Whatever that blast was, it went through my arm cleanly. The mechanic I spoke to earlier said he'd probably need to cleave a good chunk of it off. It's all dead at the end now.
Where's your axiom?
Don't know. It's a bitch getting here, I'll tell you that.
I can imagine. So who was this runaway?
You'll get a kick out of this.
I'm sure I will.
It was Cyrus Cantwell. Cyrus?
Oh, do tell.
Artemis looks in my direction, gauging my reactions. I stepped up to be included in the conversation. I'm curious to know what happened. Apparently, he's been hanging out with the Resistance. We just stumbled upon them while at the Golden Requiem. Golden Requiem? Huh, that takes me back. We cornered him, but he had a few tricks up his sleeve. A white tiger with black eyes joined up with him. Thought we could take him, no problem. And we did. I nearly choked the cat to death. I smirk. Then BAM! King raises his stump. I didn't have much time to finish the job, let alone capture Cyrus. I just took my men and ran.
And that's certainly not your style.
Fuck off! I'm kicking myself just thinking about it. The rhino locks eyes with me before repositioning himself. What's this about a new team member?
As luck would have it, Mr. Krager spent a considerable amount of time with Cyrus Cantwell.
Is that right?
Indeed. In fact, he was the one who originally found him after he escaped. Unfortunately, we weren't able to complete the transfer. Regardless, Mr. Krager should have a wealth of knowledge in regards to Cyrus.
I wouldn't say that. We weren't together for very long.
Longer than most people this day and age. I'm sure you'll be very useful in our attempts to recapture him.
I gulp. Alright, Nat, let's hear it. What have you got for us? Lance. My name's Lance. Sharp name. I like it. So Lance, the floor is yours. What the fuck am I even doing? When I first met him, he had a real bad amnesia. I took advantage of it so I could pass him off without much incident. Which I kind of regret now. He was feeble and annoying, but he had a lot of knowledge about the world before the fall. Feeble, huh? When you take a look at my men behind me, that was his doing. And you call this feeble? Really?
He must be training. I hear he's going to join the Resistance if he hasn't already. It would pose a very real threat if we were to ever regain his memories.
Up late.
That is why I suggest you work with King. And you were around Cyrus long enough to memorize his scent, right?
I guess. It's been a little while though. I open up my axiom to take out his old bandages. These old bandages still have his blood on them. Shouldn't be too difficult. Wait. What am I doing? Am I really agreeing to work to capture Cyrus? That would be pretty damn useful. We could put that nose of yours to work. We just have to get close enough for it to matter.
Which is why, for the time being, I'm going to have Lance do reconnaissance through the nation. Who knows? Maybe he'll find something.
Meaning?
Your current job duties are to travel and try and pick up his scent. Don't worry about my admin work. We'll be fine on the front. As a former member of the Resistance, you could pick up on your old teammates' scents too.
Another runaway, huh? Glad to have you then. Once I get my new arm situated, we can go bust some heads together.
Not until you finish your therapy, sir.
Duh. What's in it for me?
Pardon?
I didn't agree to this, or anything you ever said. Why should I do this?
Ah, you want to know what you'll be paid with.
Artemis holds his chin with his paw as he thinks. His serious look fades back into a smile.
Unfortunately, that isn't up to me. But I'm sure you'll be rewarded handsomely for capturing our #1 target.
I bite my lip. I'll think about it. Weasel chuckles.
As if you have a choice. Do you get along with your new team, Mr. Krager? I know you don't have the best track record on that front.
Artemis takes that as its cue to leave. I curse internally to myself, scowling. King catches my attention. So, you got anything good in that basket too? I actually do want some more snacks, but you know, the rhino raises his stump. I completely forgot I was holding on to this thing. The handle's a bit crushed now. Guess I was gripping it too hard earlier. The name's King, by the way. King Stone. Unlike that piece of shit weasel, I try to at least be somewhat agreeable with the people I work with. That's already a huge improvement. The name's Lance. Lance Krager. Nice to meet you, Lance. So, how about it? Think you'll want to work with us? To capture Cyrus? I tug on my Arcadia collar. I'm considering it. Attaboy. So, you're telling me Cyrus did this to you? Really? Sure did. Why? I just didn't think he had it in him. He was a wimp the last time I saw him. Ha! Well, it's true that he got the leg up on me. He then points to his new stump. And then some. I'll give him this. When push came to shove, he went for the kill. King points to a small dent in his neck, just above his Arcadia collar. If it were anyone else, he would have gone straight through with his knife. Wow. I don't really know what to think about that. I'm glad he grew a backbone, but it'll make it harder for me to capture him. He only got me like he did because I was distracted. You should see the shape of the other guy I was in. Oh, I'd love to. There was a knock on the door.
You're kidding me. How many visitors were you expecting today?
Get off my back, I'm a busy guy. It's probably the mechanic I called.
Honestly. Oh.
Serenity goes to open the door. As soon as she does, she straightens up and salutes. Ooh.
Good afternoon, sir. To what pleasure do I owe you this afternoon?
I hear the voice of someone I've never heard before.
At ease, soldier. Relax. It's nothing special.
Him! This asshole! A human walks in. His attire reminds me of Artemis. Does he really need to wear a coat like that? All the way down here? He flashes a smile my way before moving past me. Wait. Something about him is familiar. I've seen this man before. Good afternoon, Lieutenant Dario. Dario? The descendant of Darius. He's here? If I was still with the Resistance, I could just finish their work for them.
Oh my, Artemis wasn't lying. You're quick to scare, Lance Krager.
I gulped and laid my ears back. The hell did Artemis tell the Sacco?
I'm sure he embellished a tad. I know how he is. I thought I'd get a good look at you myself.
Look at King. Shakes his head. Well. Daryl reaches into his pocket and then hands me something. It looks like a letter. At least, I think it is. I've never received one before.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I had to deliver this to you personally. From my father.
He's still alive?
Hmm.
Dario is smiling, but my heart drops. I don't understand.
You're in Lockland. It's not every day my father requests an audience with workers.
Ugh. White collar bullshit.
Nevertheless, attendance is mandatory. See to it that you make this meeting your top priority. Should you miss it, you will be executed on the spot. You're also not allowed to return to the surface without proper supervision until he deems you worthy. I'm sure you understand.
Dario pulls out a remote control with his free hand. It looks similar to the one that Artemis had when we were in the car.
I know we just met, but I wanted to give you some advice. Artemis only plays with his toys. I break them.
Dario casually extends the letter towards me. My paw shakes as I take it from the sly human. I'm not breathing. I'm too stunned to even try to.
There's a good boy. I love it when you folks know your place. I'll see you later this week, Lance. Try not to get yourself killed in the meantime.
As quickly as he came, the human walks right out the door. Everyone in the room is stunned. I have to remind myself to breathe. When I do, I struggle. Damn! A meeting already, huh? What the fuck was that? Take it easy, you're fine. Are you serious? Do you know what that man is capable of? Better than anyone. I guess you have a different perspective. You're damn right I do. Do you know how many of his men I've had to fight? That explains the scars on your face. Guess you're not all bite. That comment's so out of left field for me that I don't know how to process it right away. Akira, no. Now I'm saying no. You know it's bad when I say no to a villain. When I do, I bare my teeth. You don't know anything about me or what I've been through. Spare the details, Fido. The bottom line is that you can't turn down the invitation. You think I don't know that already? I grab my Arcadia collar. It's all because of this thing that I'm stuck here. Careful. It'll shock you if you took it. I'm sure it will. Will you quit your whining already? It's getting embarrassing. King stares into my eyes. Fuck. This isn't me. I can get out of any situation. I always do. I just need to think about this rationally. What can I get out of this ordeal? I think back to Dario. His white hair. It reminds me of Cyrus. What's that? If finding Cyrus means getting you and that weasel off my back, then I'm ready to get this over with. Sounds good to me. I don't have any needs for brats on my team. Get moving, Wolf. I'll look over the letter in my paw. Using a claw, I rip the top open. Inside is an ornate piece of paper along with a metallic key card. There's a time and date, 5 days from now. There's plenty of time to think of a game plan to bust out of this joint. Shit. Oh, we're fucked. But also, it shows that Lance does regret something. Ooh, your turn.
Alrighty. It's really hard to break out of that, that evil villain.
It really is. It really is hard to do that.
It's been a week since we were rescued from the Golden Requiem. It wasn't as bad off as I initially thought, but I'm still being held for treatment. Due to the extent of my injury, I had to ask a reschedule for my meeting with Titania. Crystal informed her of the situation. Luckily, Titania was more than willing to oblige, considering the circumstances. But she couldn't give me a concrete reschedule date. I hope she doesn't back out. Crystal said she would keep in touch until then. Anyway, I've been stuck in Vita's apartment while I've been recovering. They're as intense as ever.
Meandering. I need you to keep still while I feed you.
Ugh. I grum when I do as I'm told. My foot was pretty badly bruised because of my encounter with King, but it's gotten better. I can't eat solid foods just yet, but at least I can still eat something. The tubes going in my stomach before were a fun experience. Vita spoon feeds me some medicine. Blah.
You're making good progress, but you still shouldn't eat solid foods for another day or so. On another note, it appears your stay here won't be much longer.
I let out a sigh of relief. Thank God. Not that I haven't enjoyed our time together, but I'd love not be confined to another room again. Vita chuckles.
Not so fast, Cyrus Cantwell. There is something more we need to discuss. While running tests on your heart, I noticed there was extensive damage. I can only assume this has to do with your fight the other day.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me, I guess.
Please explain to me what you mean.
I fill in Vita on how in my panic, I had to use my perception ability much more than I was used to. Vita's expression changes from curiosity to worry. They close their eyes and appear as if they're trying to tell me something. Probably along the lines of, "You fucking idiot."
Probably. This isn't the kind of news I like to deliver, but from what I saw, this could impact your remaining lifespan. Do not forget, your artificial heart is like a battery. Like any battery, overuse can drastically diminish its longevity. I'm sorry to say this, but you may have knocked a couple of years off your life as a result.
That was something I was afraid of.
It was not ideal situation. It was not an ideal situation, but you did what you had to do to survive. Promise me you will be more careful in the future. That or seriously reconsider joining the resistance.
You know I can't do that, Vita. I've already made up my mind about this. There's no living a peaceful life in a world where I'm always hiding. And that doesn't just apply to me.
I cannot argue with that.
But I appreciate it, and everything you've done for me.
Think nothing of it.
I rub my tender neck. I can feel the medicine doing its job. It's a strange but soothing feeling, like none other. How's Aaron?
He's doing fine. Last I heard, he was a little shaken up, though.
Can I see him?
Maybe in a couple of days. You must take care of yourself, too.
I think I can manage it.
Honestly, your inability to feel pain seems more detrimental than useful. You broke a few ribs, among other things. If you move around too much, you could reopen old wounds without realizing it. Please, just rest, for once in your long life.
I don't have a response for that. I've never been one to sit still, after all. I think back to that day at the black market. I've had an uneasy feeling since then. Why didn't Aaron leave me alone? What was the intel he was trying to get? Was it really so important that I had to be left behind? Should I be mad? I'm more worried than anything. Wait, should I be mad? I've been doing all this training to deal with situations like these. We might have gotten hurt, but my first real fight went pretty well, all things considered. Right? No, I don't know. I don't think others will see it that way. If I look at it any other way, Aaron screwed up. Big time. I still haven't told anyone what really went down. Before I can continue with my thoughts, Vita's door opens. A familiar hybrid struts in.
Sup, Cyrus? I see you still look like hell.
I probably feel like it too, but I wouldn't know.
Even so, you look better than I thought you would.
I do have a great doctor taking care of me.
Flattery will not get you discharged faster. And you and I both know we're not doctors.
Maybe we should go to school and study together.
Funny. I'll go brew up us some tea since we have a sudden guest.
Kenta comes over to sit at the end of my bed.
Silver says he'll come see you when he gets back from his current mission.
Kenta sighs.
As soon as he brought you here, he was out the door in a hurry.
That sounds like him.
It really does. So, how was your first proper fight? Was it everything you thought it would be?
I sit back in my bed to recount the events leading up to my stay. It was nothing I'd ever experienced before. It lasted an eternity, but it also felt incredibly quick, which doesn't make sense when I say it out loud.
Were you scared?
To an extent, cautious might be the better word. What did scare me was seeing Aaron like that.
I've never seen him so beat up before. I thought Karen was pulling my leg when she called me. I went to see him earlier, but he was asleep. It's not much, but he looked peaceful while sleeping.
That's good. I know he has had a hard time sleeping in general. He needs a good rest.
Such a hypocrite.
Vita carries a tray of teacups to the both of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember to...
Sip it, not aggravate my throat.
So you do take some things to heart, I say to heart.
Vita,
Relax. I'm joking.
could have fooled me. I feel like I'm studying for another doctor with just how much I've been lectured lately.
Can't imagine staying here alone with Vita sounds worse than any fight.
The dragon chuckles.
Huh. What do you want, pussycat?
Hey, don't call me!
Visiting hours are almost done. Chop chop.
It's 2 in the afternoon. And since when do you have visiting hours?
Since my current visitor started getting on my nerves.
Fine.
Kenta takes out his inventory sphere.
Then I'll keep this short.
Kendo types away on the screen.
Silver and Karen filled me in on what happened when they found you. The only thing is, they didn't exactly see how things went down.
Kendo takes out another axiom from his screen. The port is crackling with sapphire blue light.
What did you do back there, Cyrus?
Can you be more specific? Kendo swipes on the screen of the axiom he pulled out. The screen is distorted as hell.
This was recovered from the severed arm they found back in the alley. The cleanup crew scrubbed away most of the evidence you guys left behind. They almost threw this away in the process, since it's a well-known fact that axioms can't be hacked. Or so we thought.
Kanto tries to navigate the screen. He's able to move between screens, but it's difficult to read anything. I do see a familiar face. King's, to be more specific. That's King. He was the one we fought.
Which is why I need you to tell me what happened. I'm not sure how you did it, but anyone can access this axiom now. With enough time, I bet I could even dig into the personal files and maybe even his inventory.
I take a sip of the tea before clearing my throat. Well, it wasn't on purpose. I'll tell you that. I give Kanto the rundown about my experience with the lodestar bullet I fired. I wasn't really sure what to expect. I did it out of desperation. Kanto places King's oversized axiom down on the bed before pulling something else out from his inventory. It's my new gun.
This was the weapon that fired it, right?
Mm-hmm. I nod.
I'm pretty sure it's the new weaponry that Resume is cooking up.
That's what the dealer told me. You can put whatever you want in the chamber. The gun adjusts itself to accommodate the output.
And you fired an actual lodestar with this? I didn't even know you had one.
Yep. Dealer said it was swiped from transit on its way to Tensia.
I see. Cyrus, do you mind if I keep this gun for a while?
Why?
No gun. I'm going to
But
see
my
if we
gun.
can reproduce it. We store lodestars down here too. If we can replicate what you did and even refine it, we could end this war with Resume once and for all.
I'm not sure I follow.
Information is power, Cyrus. If we get enough axioms, we could reveal to the world exactly how Resume operates.
Kanto lifts up King's axiom again.
This is going to be a delicate process. If I screw it up, it could set us back a decade. You and I both know we don't have that long.
You're telling me. Kanto stands up from my hospital bed.
I'll write up an official report, but since I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to slap your name on it so I can give it to her yourself. So you can give it to her yourself.
Huh? I didn't actually discover it. It was an accident.
Accidents or not, we wouldn't have found it without you. Other than escaping, you don't have much to your name. You have a meeting with Tensia soon, don't you? Take the win. Use this to your advantage. Don't worry, I don't mind giving this to you. You've been a great help.
Kanto stuffs the gun and King's axiom back into his own screen.
Hold on. You're not leaving, are you?
So what if I am?
I need you to babysit Cyrus Cantwell for a couple of hours.
Excuse me?
I have errands to run and things to buy.
So order them on your axiom.
I also want to stretch my legs and take my own advice. I need a break.
Seriously?
I think I'll be fine on my own.
I know you're going to try to leave the second I walk out that door.
Gah.
I won't be gone long.
A couple of hours in is exactly a short period of time.
I have some board games you two could play while I'm gone.
That's not the point. I have things to do.
I'll tell the fox that you abandoned Cyrus in his time of need.
Kanto bites his tongue.
Uh,
I chime in to save the hybrid from himself. Actually, I had something I wanted you to look at for me. I got some old tech and I wanted to see if you could fix it.
like what?
I'll be off. Then, have fun, you two.
Wait,
Before the dragon could stop Vita, they exit and close the door.
fucking, ugh.
Sorry you got roped into this.
It's whatever.
Kanto plops back down on the hospital bed, pounding a little bit.
Well, what did you want me to look at?
I open my Axiom screen and take out the game consoles Dad left for me. My dad left these for me before the fall. I tried turning them on, but I think the batteries are dead. One of them can be recharged, but I'm worried they won't be able to handle the voltage of today's time.
Huh.
Kento extends a paw and I place both of them in his palm. They look a lot smaller when he's holding them. His annoyed attitude starts to melt away as he inspects the consoles.
I've never seen something like this before.
Probably the last ones in existence.
No kidding. You mind if I open them up?
That makes me apprehensive.
Don't worry. I'm sure I can put them back together. I just need to know what I'm working with.
I bring my knees up to my chest. Alright, just be careful.
They don't call me a pussycat for nothing, you know.
I chuckle at that. Fair enough. Oh, and there's one more thing. Open my axiom screen one more time and take out the gun Lance gave me forever ago.
So he still has it.
As you're most likely aware, my memory isn't what it used to be.
Ah, I remember this. You mean to unlock it finally?
Might as well, right? An extra weapon in my arsenal wouldn't hurt. Sorry for giving you this extra work suddenly.
And right after I offered you free services, too. Wow.
Kento chuckles and gives me a thumbs up.
I'm kidding. Don't worry about it. I got this.
I know. My memories from the days I spent with that wolf can be so fuzzy at times. Well, that was loud.
What happened?
Oh, just someone with a really loud muffler driving outside. It
Ah.
immediately caught my attention, squirrel style.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I got my memories back, it felt like my brain just shoved that whole week into the back of my mind. It's strange, but that's how it is. I can only really remember the very end of it, when Aaron was being hospitable with me. So many things have changed since then, huh? I guess anything before that wasn't that important anyway. Oof.
Something resembling normalcy.
Oh. The next hour and a half goes by in comfortable silence. Kanto is now sitting at Vita's desk, meticulously taking apart the console with 2 screens. I try to fiddle with the single-screen gaming system, though without power, there's not much I can do with it. He only breaks concentration to occasionally ask me something. Mainly about my past. Sorry, gotta eat dinner when it's still warm.
Yeah.
I let him know that my dad used to play a lot of games, and he collected them for a good while. I wasn't super into them, in all honesty. I was more interested in creating music. Even now, I regret not spending more time with him. Kanto finally gets all of the pieces sorted on the desk and then stands up to stretch. It takes all of my energy not to say, big stretch.
Well, I think I disassemble it all. I think you're right. This thing won't survive being plugged into the power sources we have now. That being said, I bet I could engineer an adapter for it.
How long do you think that'd take?
I'd say a week, tops. Doesn't seem that complicated.
Well, well, how much would I owe you?
Right, like you could afford my services.
Kanto smirks.
It's fine. I'm getting a chance to work with ancient tech. That's payment enough.
He puffs his chest out proudly.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No way I could turn this down, payment or not.
Aw. Oh, still.
Shut up. I said it was fine. I was going to do it even if you didn't ask. Now pipe down. I'm going to try put it back together.
Sir, yes, sir. When Kanto's working again, I start going through my axiom. I see a missed message from Silver.
Mission taking longer than I thought. I'll see you in a few days. Rest up. Getting out of service. Don't expect anything from me till then.
Good luck.
Message not sent.
So, do you mind if I ask you something?
You just did, but go ahead.
How are you and
Ooh.
Silver, doing? Kanto stops what he's doing and doesn't respond right away. I regret asking almost immediately. If I couldn't get Silver to talk, why did I think that Kanto would?
Things could be better. I just don't know how to get there. What do you ask?
I haven't known both of you for very long, but judging by everyone's reaction, it looks like y'all are in a rough patch.
It's been like this for a long time.
Do you want to talk about it?
Where Your Wounds is the song.
Oof.
There's not much to talk about. Silver doesn't trust me enough to confide in me, and there's not much I can do about it.
He loves you. Don't say things like that.
Why not? I've seen how easily he opens up to you.
Keep.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. When I heard he was moving in with you, it set me off more than I thought it would. But when I calmed down, I came to the realization that we're probably not going to last much longer. I've come to accept that.
You still love him though, right? Kanto doesn't say anything. I pause, trying to think of what to say to him. Hey, remember the surprise party a few months ago? That was the first time I saw you and Silver together. I've never seen you smile like that before, or since. And the way you dote on him, it's very sweet. Kanto remains silent and fixes his eyes to the ground. Oof. The benefit of being his roommate is that I've picked up on what his moods look like. He missed you, for sure, since that day. I've never seen him look so genuinely happy. I'm not a relationship expert, but I don't know. I think y'all have something special.
Oh yeah? Someone's an optimist today.
He says in his usual sarcastic tone. Just take a look around. The world's gone to shit. But you're both still trying to make a relationship work. Hell, look at Silver. He's out there risking his life as we speak.
Sounds like him.
He can be annoyingly stubborn. We both know that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though he's being distant, I don't think he's trying to hurt you on purpose.
That doesn't make it any easier.
I get that. But I just know he appreciates you being there for him when he needs you.
I just wish he needed me more, you know?
Yeah, I do. He's self-sacrificing to a fault.
Sounds like someone else I know.
So, what do you mean?
Let's face it, Cyrus. You're the walking definition of a martyr. Even now, you're trying to make me feel better over something that's not even your fault.
Kanto sighs and crosses his arms.
Damn it. You're making this harder for me. You know that? It's over. I've already accepted that. Trust me, I wanted to make it work. But it's not happening.
You say that, but why haven't you broken up with him then? The dragon is surprised by my question.
I don't know. Maybe I'm waiting for something.
He looks away from me when he responds, as if dodging the question.
It's Not like I want this to be over, but is Silver even really trying? He just keeps leaving me in the dark.
I sigh in defeat. Kanto is right. He has every reason to be upset. You're not wrong. I get shut down every time I bring it up with him, too. Kanto groans and rests his chin on his palm.
Anyway, thank you for trying to talk to him.
Kanto looks a little embarrassed and scratches his head.
I know I can be kind of a dick sometimes, and maybe we got off on the wrong foot, but maybe you're a cool guy, Cyrus. That's all. I'm sorry, it seems like I was taking my anger out on you, specifically. I think that part of me actually was. So, I'm sorry for how I acted.
No, it's okay. I understand. I never took it personally.
Regardless, I'm sorry. I appreciate you talking with me, though.
Kanto takes a moment to collect himself and then whispers something under his breath.
I just want to know what's going on with him. That's all. Sorry, just talking to myself.
I see. Oh, thanks for keeping me company.
Of course. Listen, if Silver really wants to make it work, he needs to talk to me. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'll hear him out if he's ready. How's that sound?
It doesn't hurt to try, right? Kanto nods and crosses his arms, looking lost in thought. It's been a while since I've given relationship advice, but I hope I did okay. Kanto is smiling. I think he's really going to try and make it work. I hope that they can. After all said and done, Kanto clears his throat.
Anyway, where the fuck is Vita? They should have been back by now.
The door slides open, revealing Vita in their casual outfit.
Sorry about the wait. There was a good sale in town.
How's going to the surface treating you?
It's still a little nerve-wracking. I'm glad I had someone act as bodyguard for me.
Ooh.
Boo!
Ah! Gasp! No, my poor artificial heart. Hagina jumps from the door frame. Only Kanto jumps.
Jesus fuck! Gotcha!
Karen walks in with a couple of bags to plop on my bed.
Hey, Asai. You feeling okay?
So, but I can't complain. What you got there?
Since the gym's off limits for you, I thought I'd get you some healthy food and eat while you recover. I already told her that you can't eat solid food for a little while longer. Which is why I'm going to blend it all up.
Ugh, I gulp. Thanks, Karen. That sounds wonderful.
Anything for a friend.
Karen rummages in her bag.
Speaking of, I got something for you to do so you're not bored out of your skull.
She tosses something small at me.
It's a brace. It'll help you improve your grip strength.
Oh, nice. I needed something to fidget with. My ADHD has been going crazy while I'm sitting in bed with barely anything to do. God, I know that feeling.
Maybe I should get those too, honestly. If you don't need my services anymore, I'll be on my way. Yes, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks again.
Don't mention it. When Cyrus getting discharged? Within the next week. Sounds good. I'll be around in the meantime. Long
Kanto
hair.
takes his ponytail out and heads to the door.
Long hair, long hair, long hair. Let me know if you need anything, Cyrus.
Sure, thanks. As Kento exits, Karen looks at me with confusion.
Since when are you two buddy-buddy?
I shrug. Give him some credit. He's not that bad.
Oh, I know. He's just a bit of a dick sometimes.
That's what makes him endearing.
Whatever you say.
She turns towards Vita.
Need anything else while I'm here? Not particularly. Thank you for your help. I'll perform your next maintenance free of charge. Sweet! See you both later. Gotta get back to the gym.
Without even a chance to reply, she runs out of the room. I can hear Vita quietly chuckle in the corner as they prepare another pot of tea. It makes me happy to see them enjoying themselves.
Another cup, Cyrus Cantwell?
I'd love one. Thank you. End of chapter.
Nope.
The next couple of days are uneventful.
We're not getting there to the end of chapter just yet.
I'm finally able to eat solid foods on my own again. Karen and Kanto checked up on me frequently and kept me company. When it's just me and Vita, I let them work on whatever project they're in the middle of instead of chatting. True to the workaholic, true to the workaholic I am, I started reviewing the report Kanto sent me and began filling it in with more of my own intel. I haven't forgotten about my meeting with Titania, and now I have some relevant information to share with her. I haven't heard from Crystal in a while. I'm getting a little antsy waiting for a follow-up. That is until she surprises me with a visit. Ah, geez, just so blatantly pink.
So pink. I
I
believe
love
you voiced her?
No,
No? Okay.
yeah, I believe you did, Crystal.
Okay. My, you certainly bounced back quickly.
Helps that I have a skilled doctor taking care of me. I can hear Vita groan in the background.
This is true. Vita has been in our care for a long time, and has in turn taken care of many victims of Resume.
Crystal pulls up a chair to sit next to my bed.
I am, unfortunately, a very busy woman. I have a broadcast starting in an hour, and I'll have to attend. So I'll cut to the chase. Do you still want to meet with Titania?
I cut her off. Yes.
Really now? You're not scared?
I'm terrified. I'm well aware of how lucky I was, but even so, I want to help in any way I can. It's as simple as that.
If only it was.
Crystal takes out her axiom and starts to type on the screen.
Blinded by the pink. Regardless, it's your choice to make. We won't force you to live your life in secrecy. That being said, are you prepared to throw yourself back into hell?
With all due respect, man, that's been my reality for the past few centuries. I'll be fine. Use me as the soldier I know I can be. I stare into her eyes with determination. Crystal is the first to break eye contact. She turns back to her axiom, types some more before swiping the screen away.
Your meeting with Titania will be in 3 days, at 10 a.m. sharp. I've messaged you where our meeting will be.
I'll look forward to it. I pull up my axiom screen. I already have my report ready to go.
Is that right? Mind giving little me a preview?
Sorry, it's a secret. You'll see.
No, can't blame a reporter for trying to get the scoop first.
Crystal stands up from her chair. Her heels clack as she heads towards the door.
I look forward to seeing the results, Cyrus.
Likewise. She gives me a nod before she exits.
And with that, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Everyone, stand up, stretch, get some water, get some food, use the bathroom. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. Just about. All right.
Yee.
BRB, everybody. back. We're live. And we're back here. Lower
Quick
this.
sec.
Here
Vita gets up from their desk to hand me a cup of tea.
With that out of the way, you're free to leave.
You think so?
Yes. It's mainly for my own sanity. I'm getting tired of the constant noise.
Fair enough. Can I finish this cup of tea first?
Yes. Leave it on the table when you're done.
Vita pets the bag at their hip.
I'm heading to the garden to do some work. If you need me, don't.
Hear you loud and clear. I smile at Vita.
Have a good day, Cyrus Cantwell. And take care of yourself, please.
I raise my cup to them. You do the same. And thank you again for taking care of me.
Don't mention it.
And with that, Vita also takes their leave. I stare at my reflection in the tea. It's going to be an exciting few days. My tapping foot is the only sound I can hear in the hallway. Fidgeting, I check the time. It's 9:55.
Wait.
AM or PM?
If they're going 24-hour clock, probably AM. 1 second. I just need to check something real quick. So sorry.
Proceeds to entertain by sipping a straw.
All right, I'm back. Oh, whoa.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Crystal will be here any moment. It's been a while since I presented anything. It was more stressful than when I spoke in front of a board for my doctorate. I didn't sleep much last night, and I was both anxious and excited. I rehearsed my pitch well into the night, to the point that Silver made it home before I went to bed.
Aw.
At 2 in the morning, I went over everything with him. I felt kind of bad since I could tell he was tired, but he insisted that I give him the rundown. He said that it's a toss-up over whether they'll employ me or not.
Damn.
I mean, we did just blow up a guy's arm, though.
True.
I'm too valuable of an asset.
That's also true.
I flip on my axiom to go over all of my notes again. My concentration breaks upon hearing a pair of heels clicking down the hall. I take a deep breath before straightening up. Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Cyrus. How are you feeling?
Ready.
That's what I like to hear in the morning.
Crystal extends the briefcase that she's carrying.
Do you mind holding on to this for a moment? I have to punch in the numbers.
Oh, sure, no problem. I take it before moving out of the way of the elevator. She keys in the numbers for an extended period of time. When I think she's done, she swipes a card next to the number pad, then scans her eye. Something dings, and then Crystal holds her paw out.
Thank you for waiting. We're going to go to the lowest part of the base. You'll need to accompany me the whole way in and out. Classified information and all that jazz, you know?
With both hands, I hold out her briefcase. Glad to say I'm no stranger to that. Crystal takes the briefcase with her right paw.
I figured as much.
The elevator doors open. Crystal directs me inside.
After you, guest of honor.
I can tell if she's teasing me or being serious. Regardless, I walk with confidence into the elevator. Once inside, Crystal punches in another set of numbers into the screen. The door slowly shut, and then we begin our descent.
She pulls out a gun from the briefcase and kills us right there and then.
I would not put it past.
Honestly.
We're already pretty far underground, so I can't imagine it will take long to get there. Say, Crystal, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Did Titania build the underground herself?
Oh my god, I just realized something.
What?
What if, hear me out, Titania is Cyrus's best friend from the past, going up against her dad?
What if Crystal was Titania this entire time?
That would also be funny.
Crystal raises the brow before smiling.
Curious, are you?
Kind of. It's funny. I've heard Titania's name thrown around a lot since I really relocated down here, but I know next to nothing about her.
That's the way she wanted it. Even Vita's left the base more than she has.
For a moment, Crystal's smile wavers.
She's taken the necessary precautions to make sure that she and her organization never falls into the wrong hands. It might seem like we made a little progress over the past 100 years on the outside, but that's the price we pay for secrecy. To answer your question, she inherited the resistance from her father, but she helped make it into what it is today. She's been fighting in a silent battle for as long as I can remember. That's part of the reason why I was drawn to her.
Crystal clutches her right hand.
And she won't stop fighting until she changes this world. I want to make sure she can achieve that.
You on TV and her in the shadows?
You got it. And let me just say, it is very entertaining to see Rasoon's PR scramble whenever a controversy hits. These swept it under the rug every time, but the cracks are already starting to show.
Crystal snaps and then points at me.
You being here is crystal clear proof of that. With enough pushback, Resume can crumble very, very soon.
Darius deserves nothing less, but I've been thinking.
About?
What happens once we win? Resume's a horrible organization, but even I can't deny they've done a lot of good for people. Lots of people will lose access to healthcare and essential treatment.
Don't you worry about that. We're already taking steps to prevent a total collapse. While the transition will be rough, there's no guarantee that our plans will work. We're going to divert the funds from the resistance into a new public healthcare system.
Damn, thought of everything, have you?
We've had a lot of time to prepare, Cyrus.
Ding.
We're here.
I crack my knuckles before slapping my face a couple times to psych myself up. Whew, all right, let's do this.
I like the initiative. You're going to do just fine.
It's always so blindingly white.
What is up with the future and white hallways? God. So medical.
The doors open to reveal a narrow hallway. There's a giant door at the end of it, similar to a bank vault's. Precautions indeed. Crystal heads over to yet another panel to open a door for me. My artificial heart beats a little faster. I'm prepared. I know I am. No, you are not.
You're not.
Even so, I've heard so much about the fabled leader of the resistance. I have to give her the respect she deserves. A loud click echoes in the hall. The door has been unlocked. I gulp as I force my heart to calm down. Crystal slowly pulls against the giant metal barrier open. Wow, I did not read that correctly whatsoever.
Oh no.
Behind it is a much smaller door. It's ornate and looks like it's made of wood, with a shiny gold handle.
Phew. That never gets any easier.
The pink fox checks to make sure she didn't break a nail before presenting the door to me.
Well, job chop. She's expecting you.
Yes, ma'am. I quickly walk up to her and then grab the doorknob. Let's do this. I close my eyes as I open the door.
More bright, blinding white light.
Be prepared for those who like to be flashed.
Oh.
The first thing I experience is just how nice it smells. Opening my eyes, I'm met with an oddly familiar sight. Tanya's office is very reminiscent of fancy rooms back in my time.
I was right.
Oh,
Possibly.
so fancy.
So fancy.
It's like the study of someone rich and powerful, which is fitting, I guess.
Oh.
The plants strewn about definitely make it look more comfortable to stay in.
Ah. There you are.
The sound of paper stacking catches me by surprise. Who I assume to be Titania is filing papers in an old-school filing cabinet. She has her back towards us. Crystal walks past me to greet her.
Hun, I know you're not so fiddling with those reports again. I just know there's something missing here that could help us turn the tide. I'm close to a breakthrough. I know it. You'll be happy to hear what Cyrus has brought to the table, Titania.
Titania turns around to meet my gaze. Ah?
Ah!
Ah?
Ah! Oh. Okay, I'm not. It's a good character. I thought it was gonna be the old friend. Don't get that all wrong, guys. I thought it was gonna be like one of our old friends as Titania. I'm not disappointed in character design. She looks amazing. I hyped myself too much and gave her the Filipino accent immediately. Oh well.
Lol.
Well, now she has it.
She looks tired, but determined.
Do forgive me. I lost track of time.
Titania smiles at me before setting her papers down.
I do like her music though.
Yee. Both she and Crystal make their way toward the big wooden desk in the center of the room. I stare at her as she moves. So this is Titania, huh?
Come, have a seat. We have much to talk about.
I couldn't agree more. With vigor, I walk to take a seat in front of Titania. Sitting up straight, I look her directly in the eye. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to meet you.
Likewise. It's nice to finally meet you in person, Cyrus.
I've heard so much about you.
Not too much, I hope. I am a pretty private person after all.
Oh no, not you. As in, you. Sorry, I misspoke. Aaron let me know a little about your role as a leader is all.
Is that so?
Finally, being face to face with the resistance leader already has me nervous. Titania chuckles and waves her hand at me.
Come now. No need to be serious. Think of this like you would any other job interview.
Oh, but I am. Considering the last job I had was working for Current. No, resume. I take anything I sign up for very seriously.
Fair enough. You seem pretty high spirits considering your latest encounter. You take hardships with great strides.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
But let's get down to business, shall we?
She holds out a hand. Crystal promptly hands her papers that she then begins to look over.
I've been told you want to join the front lines. Besides passing our military courses, I have no objections to this. However, is this something you're truly interested in, despite knowing the dangers that lay ahead?
Absolutely. It's the only way I'm going to have a chance to break into Rasum and finally take down Darius once and for all. Titania gauges my emotions. Am I being too forward? Too rash?
Very straight to the point. It is sentiment we all share, isn't it? Considering that what you've been through all these years, I'm honestly in disbelief you have that kind of motivation. I see some real fire in your eyes.
Titania flips through a few pages.
According to my intel, you used to work directly under Darius centuries ago. What can you tell me about him?
I cross my legs. Where did you get this intel?
Who do you think? Yours truly, of course.
Should I assume you have access to Rasum's records?
Bits and pieces. Why do you ask?
I take out my axiom. Well, it might be on subjective experiences. I haven't forgotten my time in Rasum. It's burned into my mind at this point. Throughout the past few days, I've been logging anything I could remember about how things operated.
Not to doubt the validity of your claims, but how can you be so sure your information is still relevant? It's been hundreds of years since you worked there.
You asked me about Darius, right? First thing I tell you is that he is a perfectionist. He will never admit that he is in the wrong. He's stubborn like that. And I seriously doubt he would change his way of operations just because of me. I sent my report over to Crystal, including all of the experiences I've amassed over the past few centuries. It didn't take long to find out what kind of person he is. He's selfish, arrogant, and dangerous. If he thinks he's in the right, he'll stop at nothing to complete his goals. Crystal's axiom beeps. She looks at Titania. Titania nods.
If you'll excuse me, I'd like to go over this information.
By all means. Crystal bows before moving to a desk in the corner.
The Vampire of Resum. That's how people refer to him. Even those that don't know the inner workings of the company.
He is ruthless and fully believes he should be leading in this broken country. To be blunt, he's a megalomaniac.
Megalomaniac.
Megalomaniac. He's still above everything and everyone who's ever lived. The only reason he got into the medical field was so that he could play God, save lives, and profit from them. Take a deep breath. Sorry, I got carried away.
Don't be. You seem to have been wanting to get that off your chest for a long time. This might be a formal meeting, but I understand needing an outlet after all those centuries. But let's not prattle too much about that man's character. With how he operates or Resume, I could figure that much on my own.
Titania chuckles. It's just frustrating. I pinched the bridge of my nose before sitting up straight. I forgot who I was talking to for a moment. Anyway, I have more than enough to resolve to see your goal through.
Do you know what my goal is?
That catches me off guard. To take Resume down?
That's part of it, yes.
Crystal returns. As she finished going over my report, she hands Titania some fresh papers.
I'm going to keep going over Cyrus's notes, but he's left us with a lot of good information, including how to use lodestars to our advantage. Lodestars? That surprises me. What is it that you've found, Cyrus?
Permission to take a weapon out from my axiom?
Granted.
I take out the prototype gun that Scrap sold me back in Golden Requiem, along with King's axiom.
So, this is how you shot off King's arm.
You sound familiar with him.
I interviewed him, just once. I could tell he was a member of the fraction, so I tried getting his face out there.
Crystal shrugs.
The brute shooed me off before I could get a word in, but we have records of work. Just getting footage of him was enough for me at the time. But that's neither here nor there. From what I read, you were able to access the data in his axiom. Is that really true?
It is. It's corrupted, but Kanto was able to use it like any other axiom. I slide open the screen of King's axiom. I shot his arm with a bullet made of a lodestar. Kanto says that caused it to overload. Does the Resistance have any spare lodestars? My pitch is that, given enough, we could extract data from countless axioms while on the front line. Tanya takes King's axiom into her own hands. She slides through the fuzzy pages.
We'd never bothered keeping lodestars out of trading. We're not in the market to manufacture that kind of machinery. I would never have believed that there was a way to break it into an axiom.
She sounds genuinely impressed as she fiddles with the oversized machine. That brings me to my next point. Here it is, what I've been waiting for. I would like to volunteer to go out into the field and collect lodestars en masse. I have some fighting experience, but I admit it's not my forte, and is mainly for self-defense. However, what I lack in brute force, I make up for in speed. Thanks to Silver. Tanya and Crystal exchange looks for an extended period of time before they both smile.
I wish I had the courage like you, Cyrus. Very well. I approve of your venture. I have 4 conditions. One of which I'll leave to your judgment.
What are they?
As far as we know, this is the first time an axiom has been overloaded like this. Therefore, I would like to move quickly and attain as many lodestars as possible. This may seem sudden, but you'll find that I don't like to waste time.
Titania holds up her hand, raising her index finger.
As much as I want you to embark on your first mission in... As much I want you to embark on your first mission in 2 weeks' time. You will have 6 months to collect as many lodestars as possibly can, along with any other intel you may stumble upon. During those 6 months, you are not to have contact with anyone within the Resistance, outside of specific secure waypoints. Now that we know that axioms have the potential to be hacked into, it'll be too dangerous to use them and send sensitive information. We'll have to reevaluate our security measures. Additionally, you will not be permitted to return until your mission is complete.
I can feel my face go pale. That's a hell of a first condition.
Second, you will have someone to accompany you as you travel, someone who knows the land and can keep you safe. It is important to me that your partner be experienced in combat. While you may have held your back there, it was only through the skin of your teeth. As such, they will be tasked with furthering your training while you're gone.
Crystal chimes in.
I know the perfect candidate. As do I. But I'm sure we're thinking of the same person.
As they both share another glance with each other and then chuckle.
I'll get in contact with him today. Excellent.
Like gulp. And the third condition?
Crystal, if you would. Certainly.
Crystal walks over to a drawer to retrieve something before walking back to me. She hands me a small but heavy box. I look at Titania and she nods for me to open it. Upon doing so, my heart skips a beat. Inside lies the shiny metal collar. A collar I've seen before.
Please don't tell us we're gonna wear it.
Oh, this is the same kind of collar those men that attacked us were wearing. What is this exactly?
Please tell me we're not gonna wear that.
Titania lowers her head slightly while giving me a striking gaze. For some reason, it feels like the atmosphere has suddenly changed.
It's called an Arcadia collar. It allows the authorizer to track the movements of the one wearing it, no matter where they are in the world. They are rare, but useful. However, There exist versions of the collar that have been modified for more nefarious purposes. The one you hold is a modified version made specifically by Resume. It acts like a shock collar, a wiretap, and even a self-destruct. Rest assured, only you will have access to these features. Syncing your Axiom to it will grant you full control. If there is ever a moment you fear you may end up being captured, it is up to you whether or not to use the collar to your advantage. I hope it doesn't come to that. But I want you to have an out if the need arises. This is the condition that is up to you, should you choose to accept the mission.
I see. Knowing that, it makes sense people from Rasun would wear them. It keeps them quiet.
Indeed. You will be chained to this mission for half a year. Even then, you might not be successful. I don't doubt your abilities, but lodestars have become incredibly scarce in the recent years. I am aware that 6 months is a long time. However, the risk of this mission is relatively low compared to most of my men on the front line. We will provide you plumes for living expenses, though I would like you to keep interactions to a minimum. There's a danger lurking around every corner.
Tanya folds her hands together once more.
With that being said, I'm surprised you aren't already familiar with Arcadia colors.
What do you mean?
The men you had an altercation with were likely members of the Fraction, a military force made up of mostly Rasum soldiers. As you might have guessed, their task force set out to find pristine carriers, and tasked to eliminate anyone that stands in their way of Rasum's goals. The subject of pristine carriers is top secret. As such, members of the Fraction are forced to wear Arcadia collars to keep them quiet, or face death as a consequence. It's not limited to only them, however. Even people who work directly inside the Rasum wear them. Anyone who knows the truth, it seems.
I see. That does make sense. I never seen one before I was attacked. This must have come after Darius locked me away. I didn't see much of them outside of that room.
Many of their uniforms tend to cover their necks. You likely never had a chance to see it, if that's the case.
I think back to when I was captured by Clement. It's true, I couldn't see anything underneath the collar of his uniform. The men who attacked us didn't look to be in uniform, though.
Perhaps Rasum is becoming a little too big for their britches.
Tony's expression changes to one of displeasure.
However, this is not the issue at hand. I wasn't asking because of your history with Rasum. I was asking because this is information Aaron should have relayed to you before ever going to such a shady establishment. And Golden Requiem of all places.
I gulp.
I know Aaron and his team can handle their own, but he should have been more cautious, especially with you of all people. Your situation could have been avoided entirely. I knew that report sounded off. It feels as if I've been only told half of a story. Aaron is usually more aware of his surroundings. He's always made good calls in the past. It's why I saw a leader in him. So why is it that Aaron didn't immediately remove you from the situation when he spotted those collars? I've always instructed everyone to avoid confrontation when possible.
Shit. She doesn't know that Aaron left me alone after all. I freeze, and she stares me down. Eventually, she speaks up again.
And that brings me to my last condition.
Somebody points a finger at me, specifically at my face.
Fix your hair, or you'll be fired before you even had a chance to sit through orientation.
What? My hair?
Let me be more specific. Dye your hair. It doesn't matter what color, any will do. Just do it immediately. You stand out like a sore thumb. You can only imagine my shock when you waltz in here, hair as radiant as the day I first received the reports about you.
Titania closes her eyes and sighs.
This is not a game. I don't intend to tell you how foolish it was to wander around in public without any forethought into your appearance. I should honestly reprimand you for you and your team, especially Aaron, for allowing this to go on for so long. Let this be your first warning, Cyrus Cantwell. Danger is lurking around every corner. And you should always be fully prepared for that. However, in the light of new information you were presented today, I may let this slide. Aaron will not get off so lucky. I'll be arranging a meeting with him soon. I rely on him to present rescuees with any and all information needed to protect themselves. This is just carelessness. And this brings into question his role as a leader. I suspect there was more to the situation that I'm not understanding.
I can feel my heart beating fast. This feels like a parent catching me in a lie. I haven't felt like this in a couple of centuries.
Considering the information you've given us today, I feel like I can put some trust in you. So, I'll ask you this. What happened on the day in Golden Requiem? Am I missing something?
I lower my head in shame. It's best for me to not start my new position lying to my boss, I guess. I sigh and bring my eyes back up to face her. We were nearly done with our trip, and it seemed like Aaron had received a notification from someone about some intel. He asked me to stay put because his informant is apparently very private. That's what he said. Anyway, I don't know what the intel was about. Shortly after he left me there, I was attacked. But he did manage to find me again, and he helped me fight those men. Titania raises her hand to cut me off.
That's enough. I understand now. Mostly.
She taps her finger on her desk multiple times, looking lost in thought for a few moments. I break the silence. I'm sorry I didn't tell anyone this sooner. I guess I was afraid of getting Aaron in trouble.
Don't be sorry. And give yourself more credit, Cyrus. You managed to fight off 2 soldiers on your own and dismembered their leader. That's quite a feat for a rookie. You have a fairly impressive resume already, it seems. I wasn't so sure before, but maybe what happened to you was a blessing in disguise.
After all this tension, she finally cracks a smile. I chuckle nervously. Well, I'm glad I could see it that way.
I apologize. I didn't mean for it to sound rude. Aaron's actions were suspicious, if not foolish. But I don't believe he would betray us. No. There is something deeper going on, but that isn't for you to worry about. I will get to the bottom of this myself. It should go without saying, but do not tell Aaron of this conversation. I have my own suspicions that I want to confirm first. You talking to him about this could jeopardize that.
It kills me knowing that I might have to lie to Aaron. Yes, ma'am. Of course. She relaxes her shoulders and leans back into her chair.
At the end of the day, you both made it back safely. I'm happy you're okay. Just please be more careful in your future endeavors.
I nod.
I do apologize for getting a bit heated earlier. Please understand that the resistance and our mission are very important to me.
She gives me a soft, caring look. Again, like a parrot. She's Mama Bear.
Yeah, honestly.
I nod in response.
Now then, we should get back to business. I've laid out all my conditions for you. As stated earlier, you are to go on mission for 6 months to collect lodestars, along with dyeing your hair to avoid any more unnecessary trouble. Do you have any questions?
I meet her question with silence. This is a lot to take in. Am I not used to that? Ever since I woke up in this hellscape, I've been dealing with all kinds of challenges. This is just another. I'm very nervous about leaving for that long. I won't be able to return home the whole time, is that right?
That is correct. Until you have gathered the necessary resources, I don't want you to come back and potentially leave traces behind.
Honestly, that's the hardest part. I feel like I've just gotten comfortable with my new life down here.
Which you are more than welcome to continue living. These conditions are only if you accept the mission I have assigned to you. This will be a good opportunity for you to get familiar with the lay of the land. I know you're familiar with how it used to be before the fall, but I think it would benefit you to travel.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
You could be the one to turn the tide of this century-long struggle. I wouldn't assign something so difficult for your first mission if I didn't think you were capable. In my line of business, I've had to learn how to read people. It's a matter of survival at this point. I'm putting my faith in you.
I look down at the box with the Arcadia collar in my lap. I smirk. What's 6 months through 300 years? With a deep breath, I open the box before bringing the collar up to my neck. I fasten it closed. I accept these terms. Given that I have 2 weeks left to prepare, that'll at least give me an opportunity to say goodbye to everyone.
Oh. What's going on
Ooh
with
boy.
Aaron?
Mm.
Hmm,
Probably doing a double cross so that he can get his old boyfriend back.
maybe?
I do have another question if you don't mind me asking.
What is it?
Earlier we talked about your goals. You said taking down Rasim was only part of it. May I ask what you meant by that? Is something else you're after? She leans forward on her desk and places one hand over the other.
I've already gathered you are someone I can trust. So I don't mind sharing a little about myself. It's only fair, after all. However, if you ever leak any of this information outside of this room, you are as good as dead.
Of course, I would never.
Good. I do have my own personal vendetta.
She takes a deep breath.
My father was a pristine carrier and was held captive in Resume for over a century.
I certainly wasn't expecting that.
It was pure luck that he was able to make it out. But it's a clear sign that Resume's infrastructures are falling apart within these past decades. It's why we can continue to rescue more carriers to this day, even inside Resume. There are people fighting. It's a very small handful, but it's something. You can only polish a piece of shit for so long before it starts to crumble. It pains me to say, but we've lost contact with a few of those informants over the years. I could only pray that they didn't meet a terrible fate. I carry that guilt with me every day. But this is one of the dangers we face while fighting Resume.
Tony furrows her brows.
Of course, when my father tried to spread the word, no one believed him. Resume always maintains a proper image to the world as an organization with a mission to help people when they need help the most. It should
Like
come,
Disney.
yeah. It should come to no surprise they thought my father was crazy and just trying to seek attention. Why would they believe him? When the Resume caught wind of it, they tried to hunt him down. My father was always on the run. It took decades for him to build up enough connections to try to make a difference. It kept him alive long enough to find a successor for his work, supposedly slowing the aging process until he did. That's when my mother came into the picture. She was another victim of Resum's machinations, and one of the first few my father and his small rescue team managed to help escape. Like my father, she was also a pristine carrier. They were kindred spirits in a way. Over time, they fell in love. My mother was the one that told me everything about my father and about pristine carriers.
Wait, so if both your parents were pristine carriers, does that mean you're...
Yes, I am also a pristine carrier.
She places a hand gently on her chest.
Unfortunately, my father passed away shortly after I was born. My mother was so kind and so proud. She always talked about my father with reverence. But she wasn't long for the world either. Many people who escape aren't.
I'm so sorry about your parents. It pains me to know someone else's family has suffered like mine. I think about my parents and Damien.
I want to make sure a love story like that never has to happen again. That is my personal vendetta against Resum. I do this for my parents, for everyone. When I was old enough, I took over the resistance from my fathers to continue his work.
Katana extends her arm out.
Ever since I was born, I never left the underground. I told myself that I wouldn't leave until it was safe enough for people like my parents to walk freely. As we stand now, we are in no position to present anything to the people without solid proof. No one believes us. No one will believe the dark truth that Resum sweeps under the rug.
Katana folds her hands together and looks at me dead in the eye.
Cyrus, can I trust you to aid in our fight? To make sure that no matter what, no one has to live in fear of being used like fodder for the masses.
I'll hold my right hand over my heart, the heart that Dr. Chow blessed me with. I swear it. If I don't personally take down Darius with my own two hands, I'll consider it a failure. I won't let you down, Commander. Titania smiles warmly.
Oh my, someone's fired up.
Crystal's axiom beeps.
Speak of the devil, your partner has accepted the mission as well.
Damn, you're right. Y'all don't waste any time.
We don't have much time to begin with. Every second is precious.
Sonny pulls up her sleeve slightly and looks down at the watch on her wrist.
I apologize for cutting this short, but I do have another meeting to attend to.
Titania gets up from her chair before she offers me a hand. Yay!
Welcome to the Resistance, Cyrus Cantwell. I'll be sending more information to your Axiom regarding the finer details of your mission.
I give her a firm and respectful handshake. Understood, and thank you so much. I'll be heading out to prepare.
I wish you luck.
I start to head towards the door when I hear Crystal speak.
I'll be over with dinner later. Alright, hon? I look forward to it.
Aww. Tanya and Crystal share a brief but tender kiss.
Love you.
Love you. I can't help but blush.
Shall we head off, Cyrus?
Oh yeah, let's. Crystal chuckles as she leaves Tanya aside. Tanya returns to her desk preparing for her next meeting.
Oh, God. Sitting in... Oh my God. Moving around to change positions to fight, do her also her mannerisms as well. It's not good for my body.
It's a DB.
Hi, DB. All of this is spoilers. We're chapter 16, DB. We are in chapter 16. This is all spoilies. I know you're in chapter 1 or from 1 to 2, but thank you for dropping by some candy. My goodness. Oh.
Goodness. As we head out, Crystal puts Titania's security door back on. She's quite efficient with her time.
You don't know the half of it.
She says warmly.
I have you muted, lol, so everything's out of context. DB! Thank you for the lurky lurk. My goodness. Oh my goodness.
We make our way into the elevator, heading back to the base.
This is all spoilers to you, DB. Thank you for the lurky lurk, but this is all spoilers because we're in chapter 16.
Spoilies. Spoilers, sweetie.
It's in the title, DB. We're chapter 16. Love you too, DB. My goodness.
We make our way into the elevator, heading back to the base. I can finally relax, but I have a knot in my stomach now thinking about Aaron.
Damn, I didn't know we're thinking about his knot.
Bonk.
Yeah.
I feel guilty letting Titania know what happened. If this is something personal, maybe it's for the best. Hopefully I can see him soon and find out. My thoughts are interrupted by Crystal chuckling. What are you laughing at?
Sorry, don't mind me. It's been a while since I've seen Titania get so riled up, even if just for a little bit. No one can blame her for taking her position so seriously, I suppose. Congratulations, Cyrus. You did more than wonderful.
I smile. The story about her parents, it resonated with me. It reminds me of my family.
Oh?
Darius gave me his word that he would give shelter to my mom and dad, and to my boyfriend at the time. It was a lie, of course. They didn't have the qualifications to be saved. I never got a chance to say goodbye to them.
So, it seems you and Titania have something in common.
I place a hand over my collar. It's a firm reminder that while Rasum still stands, I'll never be free. I meant what I said. Make Darius pay. I think of my parents for a moment, then Damien. Instead of feeling happy, I'm furious. Furious at how Darius had the chance to save them and didn't. Must be wearing my emotions on my face. Crystal decides to comment on it.
There's the fire she saw. You're going to do great. I'm sure of it. Look at that fire in your face.
I nod, looking at my face in the reflection of the elevator wall. I don't see the timid, weak man who was afraid of everything that could be lurking around the corner. I see myself smile confidently, ready to take the next thing that my long life throws at me.
I'm left stunned at the man in front of me. The thing that's in front of me doesn't even look human, let alone alive.
Presenting Darius Ishmael Octavio in all his glory.
A mechanical voice echoes out from the corpse-like body.
That's enough. Back to your post.
Dario bows.
Of course, your majesty.
I can hear Dario's footsteps as he walks away, but my eyes are fixated on Darius. A chill runs down my spine as he finally addresses me.
Welcome, Lance Krager. Tell me, how has Cyrus Cantwell been?
Chapter 17, Departure. And that's where we're going to save right now. Because, I can't handle the roundabout emotion. Oh my god. We're going back to the main. We're saving there. Jesus Christ. That's fucking wild. Can we talk about like the mirroring of the images of these
Just-
two?
oh.
The confidence into horror. Like,
Ooh. I'm feeling sorry for Lance now.
me too. This, again, I love reading well-written stories because now I'm fired up for Cyrus, but I'm fearful for Lance. Lance has no idea what he's gotten himself into whatsoever. My God, I felt his fear at the bottom of my stomach when I saw that. Oh my God. We're on the final chapter, guys. Oh my God.
But that's where we'll have to leave it for then.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Hopefully, but starting the new year, we'll have all the VODs well edited and posted on our YouTube page, which you can check out in our socials or in the links underneath the YouTube video down below. Other than that, that was such a heavy transition. I'm not gonna raid anyone today. That's too much of a heavy like thing to raid with. So with that being said, for both the YouTube and the Twitch side, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified on the next stream we'll be having, which I believe should be tomorrow, as we're playing more games with the usual furs. So,
Yeah, I just realized something about this too.
what's up?
Once again, I'm in a story where I'm voicing both the ultimately good guy and ultimate bad guy.
Yep. Yes, you
Damn
are.
it.
This is just great. So yeah. See you guys. Bye-bye.